Brexit now! 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 Deliver Brexit!
Very slow. Very slow.
I'm a smoker, I can't shout all day. Too fast. Yeah. Nice, genuine slow.
What do we want? Brexit! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Brexit! When do we want it? Now!
Kind of reading what
On the 29th of March, we legally left the EU. We've been robbed by a government. And the next one is going to be on Halloween. That's your birthday. That's not your birthday.
To be honest, I don't work. No, I don't agree with you.
And they are trying to rob us.
It does. I've got another.
Does it hear a lot of stuff?
Well, because we're mostly on the road most of the time, so no. Well, mostly people when I'm put on the floor. Sorry! It's still going, it is. I'm going to put out the second pole and the second flag and give it to someone else. I've got a spare one in the bag. I do.
Government and look at
You want to join us and stand up for freedom for your children and their future generations. Come and join us. Read the leaflet that's being given out. That is all the injustices that are going on in this country. All of them. You know? Stand up and be counted. Come and stand with us, walk with us.
We brought over our own Donald Trump, waving to everyone there on the bridge. We on the front, June, the real Donald Trump comes over. And we'll be out supporting him as well. We love Donald!
Thank God there's so many police and so many policemen with us.
We love Donald!
Around the corner at Whitehall. What do you see? Do you see the colour yellow or the people wearing it?
Sorry.
Because you know they're the ones telling the truth. So you fear the truth. That's what it is. You fear the truth. See ya. You can't hide for too much longer from the truth. All this divide and conquer that they've been doing for years. And as I said, there's being awake and then there's being wide awake to the atrocities of the real truth that is causing all of this. All of it. Globalism, the political elite, the government within the government. Our government are just puppets for puppet masters. Who is on the government within the government? Who sits on that? And it's not just here, it's in all other countries. All other countries. Yeah, no, that's alright. Yeah, no, we carry on. We face them. You face the enemy. Let's face them. Carry on walking.
Someone's taken away by a jihadi. Mowed 3 of them down, and 1 of them was her child. He was 16 years old. The police has covered it up, and she cannot open that case for 20 years. Right, and Tracy's out here every weekend, not just supporting Brexit, but wants justice for her boys. Tracy Blackwell was her name. And the police know her. Okay, and you need to look on YouTube and even Facebook and find her name and look at her story of what happened to her children. 3 16-year-olds going to a party and was mowed down by a jihadi, and they said he was drunk, he was taking drugs. He was a Muslim, what's he doing taking drugs and drinking? For God's sakes. I thought Muslims are against that. And they opened that road within an hour. Ambulance coming.
Just to say, the road wasn't open in an hour. It was longer than that. However, they didn't do an investigation at all. They didn't do any appeal boards, no appeals, or anything with regards to our children. Didn't even search the driver's home, just to discount anything. They didn't even get a Section 18. You can get that in a few minutes on the phone from an inspector. It doesn't need a judge to sign it off. So we're out here every week trying to wake up the people to not just what happened to Josh, Harry and George is not an isolated case. It's been going on for over 6 years now in this country, and the mainstream media are not telling you. They've stopped all the communities, they've stopped people talking. Everyone just walks about, walks on by, doesn't want to listen if they hear something that they don't like to hear. But what we're standing here doing is telling you the truth. It's all been about the globalist plan, and the political elite is about divide and conquer. That's how they win. And they've been using the mainstream media to create false narratives. They use the police to assist them and not assist the people. The police don't check our crimes anymore. They didn't investigate our children's murders. But they've been made to do that, and they do it. I don't know why the police follow puppet masters, because there is more of us than them. There is more of us than the globalists and the political elite. If everyone stood together. In Italy, all the people are standing up, and the police in Italy took their hats off and stood with the people because they had courage. And they said they're not doing this no more. They're not doing it. I spoke to police constables who say, we know what you're saying is true, but what can we do about it? Oh, it's not far before we pick up our pension. How shameful is that? These constables must have children, and they know what sort of society is going to be left for them. Yet they continue to do what they do. Because, and I'm sorry to say it, because they're cowards and we're not. For some reason, the Elevests, who get always these police presents when we're peaceful people, just fighting and standing up for the people and the children, they follow us everywhere to make us look bad. Because we're the ones out here on the streets telling the truth, trying to get all the communities together to listen to us. And they're lying about us because they don't want you to hear my words and what I've got to say. You know, you look at the stabbings and the shootings on the streets, and there's no investigation into that. The same as there wasn't into my son and his two best friends when they were murdered. None. And they want to keep us divided. I spoke to Operation Lockdown, which is a load of parents that are standing up and asking the police for answers to all their questions when their children have been shot and stabbed, and no one's getting anything. It's just pure injustices everywhere you look. We live in a lawless Britain. The police do not protect us anymore. Try it. Ring them up and say something's happened. Ring them up and say your car's stolen, if you like, and see what they do. Nothing. Nothing. Because they work for the establishment and not for the people.
They work for the government, they don't.
If you want to research, look on YouTube or Facebook, look up Yellow Vest United Kingdom, look at the live feeds and see for yourself the truth what is going on. Because the mainstream media work for the government, not for the people, and they've been lying to you for years. They lied in my son's story. Every time I spoke to them, they changed it to fit the narrative of what they wanted to fit it to. I've been at demonstrations for over a year, and they've been lying about every demonstration I've been to. They've been saying banners say something else to what it actually says. So all you have to do, Facebook, Fighting for Justice, go on, look at the videos, look at the live feeds, go on YouTube, Yellow Vest United Kingdom, and see for yourself what the real truth is. Because trust me, they are hiding it and using the mainstream media to hide it from you all. We have a silent war on our streets and people's children are being murdered, stabbed, shot or mowed down. Mine was mowed down. 5 children the car went out and murdered 3. One was my son. And they lied from the beginning. And we have all the evidence, by the way. It was dealt with at the Old Bailey, and at the Old Bailey they said the opposite to the evidence, and they never showed the CCTV. They never read the collision report. And what they done in our case was the same as what they done in Hillsborough. They took the original statements, took them back, typed up their version on police statement papers, all unsigned, and handed them into court. We've been fighting for over a year to get an appointment with the Attorney General. For over a year, and he won't give us one. We have the evidence for a retrial. They won't see us because they know, because it was a government cover-up from the beginning. It was signed off, and they used the police to do that. So please, there's so much going on in this country that none of you know nothing about. Please just research Yellow Vest United Kingdom, or Fighting for Justice, or me, Tracy Blackwell. Go and look at my videos, please. Go back to, over a year ago and start looking at them. And then maybe that'll help, because we are in dire straits in this country and they're not letting you know. And every Saturday I come out just to speak to people, and they've been trying to silence me for a long time. I've had ex-intelligence officers come to me, try and divert me somewhere else. I've got all videos made up about me that are lies to stop people listening to what I have to say. So please, for your children, for future generations, please go and research. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Got a spare one in the bag. Huh? Oh yeah, I know. I was looking at somebody else. Okay. Watch out for the bombs.
We're here, we've been walking the streets of London since before Christmas, and we have a D notice on us by the mainstream media so that you lot don't hear our words and why we're out here. The reason why we're out here is for all the injustices that are going on in the country, and there's many of them, and I don't want to go through them all because then it becomes confusing. I myself are out here over the injustice of my son who was murdered with his two best friends last year in January the 26th. And the Met Police, the CPS and the Central Criminal Court covered up those murders. I then came out to speak out against it, and I found lots of injustices. I spoke to many people and found out that our own veterans were being persecuted. That when they came back from war, they was being left homeless, or they were suffering from PTSD, and they was committing suicide, and the government wasn't helping them. I then found out that not last year, the year before, over 10,000 children went missing in the UK. Over 10,000 children, and no one was looking for them. I was speaking to the mainstream media and having interviews with them, and they was lying every time I spoke to them, and I worked out that the mainstream media was lying to you all and using false narratives. You then see that only some people listen and some people don't, and then you have Brexit on top of that, which is an injustice. Whether you voted to remain or leave, it's an injustice to you all if the will of the people is ignored. If it's ignored, it's an injustice to each and every one of you, no matter what you voted. Who wants to live in a dictatorship, which we actually already do? Because I personally do not believe that there is going to be Brexit. There's still going to be injustices. There's still going to be someone today lose their child because we have all the stabbings and the shootings on the streets and nothing being done about it, because the constables that are now policy officers only protect the establishment and don't protect the people. They don't protect the children. They don't investigate crimes. They've just become enforcement officers. So we come out week after week to try and wake people up. We walk the streets, we talk to people, because the mainstream media won't let you know. They are our enemy, and they are controlled by the government. And it's the government that tells the media what to write. They use NLP, predictive programming, which they've been using for years on you all. For years. And they do it through the TV, and they do it through the newspapers. There's many people awake now to what is going on, and all we do, we come out, we ask people to join us. Just so you know, the ordinary people all over the world have stood up. The mainstream media again are hiding it from you. In France, thousands are on the streets every week, standing up to the globalists and the political elite. And that's what we're doing. You need to research. Research Yellow United Kingdom. Research Fighting for Justice, and look at the live feeds and see for yourself what is going on. What is going on. So that's all I've got to say for now. Thank you for anyone who did listen to that. Thank you.